Getting ready to have a discussion with Matt Allard from Dell Technologies. Matt, pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So Matt, can you explain what we see on the system behind us here? This looks really interesting.
Oh, it's really interesting. So this is a solution, it's a combination of software from Siemens called Cinematic Anatomy and our Precision Workstation, plus a VR headset. It's a system for learning about anatomy. And really, if you're a medical student or a nursing student, if you wanted to learn about anatomy historically, you'd look in a book, two-dimensional images. What this does, it actually takes real scans of actual people and recreates them as a 3D model inside the computer. Now that's awesome because then it's non-destructive. You can look at that body any number of ways. You can look at any systems, isolate the skeleton, isolate the musculature, and be able to see that and understand how a body really operates within a three-dimensional environment, because of course our bodies are three-dimensional. It becomes even more interesting when you add a VR headset, because looking at a computer screen, it's flat. It's still two-dimensional. You're looking at a 3D model, but it's 2D projection. When you put on a 3D headset, a VR headset, you actually can see depth, and it really begins to look more and more like a real environment and truly three-dimensional to our eyes. It's very helpful to understand how body systems work together when you can actually see it in a realistic 3D way.
Oh, wow. So would you say the kind of target customer space for this is education, medical, the students, people
That's exactly
sell direct?
it. That's exactly what it's doing. So this software has to be licensed by like the FDA for clinical purposes. So Siemens does have versions that are for diagnostic and clinical treatment, but Cinematic Anatomy specifically is for education.
Okay.
And again, gives you a great way to understand the 3D environment of a body. And in fact, some of the examples we're showing show you things like what an aneurysm might look like inside a body, what certain conditions might look like. So it's a great way to have an education without having to have a cadaver that has actually that condition. So it really is quite expansive from that standpoint.
Oh, very good. Now, does this something that runs in a cloud environment, or is there an underlying system infrastructure?
Great question. So I represent the Precision Workstation team, and this actually works on workstations.
Okay.
And the reason why is, in order to provide a high resolution, very heavy data model in 3D and be able to interact with it in real time, and in fact feed two images to your eyes so you can see depth, that requires a pretty beefy system with a lot of graphics power, and that's what we do in Precision Workstations.
Dell's got that end covered.
You bet you do.
Matt, thank you very much for filling us in. I'm going to go check it out. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.